Brr. Hello, everybody. I hope you're staying warm on this wonderful, wonderful Saturday night. I appreciate y'all being here. This is just outside the window, and it is still coming down. We have accumulated somewhere between 7 and 8 inches, and they're saying that they'll, depending on where we're located, we'll see anywhere from 8 to 13 inches in places. So it's cold, and this has been coming down since I think about 7 or 8 o'clock this morning. I think that's when I noticed it started. Anyway, welcome to Hobo with Wood Live, and I dropped a video this week where I was playing with a new product from Brilliance, and I did there we go, get the glare off of it. A demo where I did a plate from Dollar Tree and just put a logo in the center of it. And this is just like using the white tile, the Norton white tile method, except it's nothing like the Norton white tile method. I think the science behind it is the same, but the prep, if any of you have used the Norton white tile method, you know how much time and prep can go into it. And then when you screw it up and all that prep time was wasted, it's just like, oh man. So this is a whole lot easier, simpler setup and prep time than the NWT. So I appreciate you guys being here tonight. And let's see what we got. Ed says, I didn't know if you'd be able to make it. I had to walk. Well, I didn't know if I'd be able to make it to the studio, make it to work. Yeah. I had to walk from the back driveway into the studio. But this morning, because like I said, it started early this morning, and I brought breakfast in to Dad, and I made it through the back of the house to the front, and the front where his bedroom's at, and the front hallway is a hardwood floor, and I thought my feet were clean. The snow had just packed the soles, and it was a solid sheet of ice. And as soon as I hit that hardwood, I was down. I was out. Breakfast up in the air. I was able to save one. So gave him his sandwich. Mine ended up in the cobwebs and the spider webs everywhere. And I was doing a split like you'd see the cheerleaders do. And homie, don't move that way. I got some banged up my knee pretty good, but yeah, it was rough just moving from outside to inside. But yeah, we're here. Let's see here. Wayne, it's still coming down, and they said anywhere from probably 7 to 13 inches in and around the Charlotte area, and I've got, I think, probably right at about 8 inches out there now. This was just before going live. I stepped outside and took a quick picture, and it's still coming down. Let's see here. Did you see Clack's YouTube on having to post? No, I missed that one. I've been really, really hectic this week. It's been a very, very trying week. I'm sure the Brilliance is going to be more expensive, but the prep time, the cleanup time, I know Tempera paint cleans up really, really easy, but as far as the all of your cleanup from your brushes, your sponges, whatever you're using to apply it with, if you're using an air sprayer, that's not as bad, but you still got to clean up your air sprayer and all of that. Time is money. And it's really about what's relevant to you, what as far as what is your best value. And I would have to do a heads up comparison between, and I've got a heads up comparison on the Norton white tile method, and the glare is what's killing. That's Norton white tile on this ceramic, and this is Brilliance on the ceramic, and that's a huge difference between the darkness. And that was a big range of speeds and powers, and I just didn't get good results with it. And I've gotten better results sometimes, but that was hours to prep. This was about 15 minutes to prep, and one result with a whole lot less time to create it, and got really good results. So that's why I say time is money, and I hate waiting on stuff. I hate waiting. I hate watching paint dry. He's here. They released us. For those who don't follow on Facebook, Wednesday, Dad had a really nasty fall, and we spent 8.5 hours in the hospital Wednesday night. They released us after CTs and tests, and he's here, but it's pretty messed up. No broken bones, lots of bruising, a lot of soreness. The really frustrating part is he don't remember how it happened. So enough about that. But he's home. He's home. Let's see. Gigi is loving this weather. She is German Shepherd Siberian Husky, and that Siberian Husky just loves to get out there in it. And she's black as the ace of spades with a little white on her belly and on her chest there. So she sticks out like a sore thumb. She go out there and play in the snow, and I don't have to worry. Oh, there she is. There she is. It's easy. She loves it though. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna feel it even more because I've been having to keep the leg working, keep the knee moving, because if I leave it stationary too long, it's won't lock up. What was all that white stuff in the pic? You would equate it to a sandstorm, maybe. I don't know. I've seen some of them. What's the Aussie back road truckers or off road truckers and the sandstorms you guys come through there? Nah, this is about like that, but it's white, freezing. Oh, let's see here. We're going to clean with alcohol. I'm gonna go through the whole process. I think alcohol is the secret sauce in this stuff. Did you start to say you spoke to Leo? I've reached out to Leo. I haven't heard back from Leo. I don't even know if the contact information I have for Leo is even accurate anymore. He didn't share a whole lot with us. It's just that there's some personal family health issues. And I know that I looked at the website the other day, and it looked like just about all of the lasers are completely gone. And he was going to keep the company up until a year after the final sale of the last laser for warranty purposes. But for contact and all that, I don't know. I haven't heard from him. I just pray that everything's going well for him. Yes. Dust storms can put dust where snow won't fit. And then snow beats spiders. Yes, and I'll take the snow all day long over his spiders they've got down there. Use 90% or more alcohol. Not sure what part you're referring to. But anyway, so what I did after playing with the ceramic and playing with the plate, and I'm guessing this is, I don't know if this plate and this is the same material, but I do believe they've got the same glaze type surface going on. But this had a much darker result than this did, so that's another reason. And when I first started doing this, I was, and I still watch Clack and still watch Steve, but I listen to Clack, and Clack, he'll be talking about, his tumblers that he uses, and I use these tumblers. These tumblers I get good results from, and I do this and he does like talk. And I've talked to him or once or twice about introducing him to a different thing. Or I think I even sent him some of the Brilliance marking spray for metal when it first came out. And I had them send him some. I don't know if he tested or tried it or not, but he's like, yeah, I'll look at it, but I like using this, and this is why. And I don't know how well this is going to work with showing you this, because it's a mirror, and trying to photograph mirrors is terrible, or film even. But when you spend hours and hours working on test and develop and finding that perfect result and getting that best possible combination using this product and this product, these two products, and you get the perfect combination, why you want to introduce something else that might produce as good a result, but to find it, you got to go through all that work all over again. When you find something that works, you stick with it. This mirror that I did all the speed test on, and it's going to be hard to see, but you can see there's 4 different speed and power testings across there to get the final result that I got. And testing takes time, and that's why it's so important. People ask, well, what settings did you use? Well, my settings were this, but that don't mean they're going to work for you. Your laser's got more hours on it. Your power output might not be quite the same. You are working with a different quality of mirror or a different thickness of glass, so you have to test and find what works for you. And when you find what works for you, stick with it. Now, with that said, if you are currently doing a lot of the tiles and the Norton white tile method and stuff like that, this might be something that you want to give a try and see if it works for you. Simply from the time saving aspect of it. If you didn't watch last week's video, or this week's video where I did the plate, I showed the actual prep. I've recorded the prep, the spray, and then before I even could put this can down, you could already see that it was drying, and it dries super fast. And then if you touch it, you'll leave your fingerprint in it. It's not dried hard like paint. It's just a dispersal of the powder. And I 99% of you watching are aware that what makes the Norton white tile method work is the titanium. The titanium is the secret sauce of making the black mark. And titanium, if you buy it in its pure natural form, it's just a white powder. It's white, but whenever you engrave with it, it leaves black. And that's why you use white paint. And there are certain paints that have higher titanium contents, and they give better results. And that's why you'll hear some people say, "Well, I want this paint or that paint or this paint or that paint." And then you can prep it certain ways and then put paint on it and this. So there can be a lot of time that goes into the Norton white tile method. With the Brilliance, you shake it up. You got a good distribution of all your stuff. Rattle cans are rattling good. And then, if you watch the video, I will go left to right with about a 50% overlap, and then come back on the Y. So I covered the X, and then I come back on the Y and do the same thing with about a 50% overlap. Making sure you've got no gloss, no sheen that's shining through there. You got a good even coat, and that stuff is evaporating almost as fast as you can put it on. And it doesn't tell you the ingredients on here because it is proprietary, but you can safely assume it has a pretty high level of titanium. And from the smell of it and from the way that it wicks and dries very, very quickly, the propellant is a very strong mixture of possibly alcohol or not your average rubbing alcohol, but just went in mind blank. But that's why it dries almost instantly. And as soon as you see that it's completely wick dry, you can pick it right up and put it on a laser and go to work with it in about 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. You're not waiting half an hour or longer for paint to dry. So I see some comments that have popped up here. Let's see. Okay. Ed marked it for me. Thank you, Ed. Use marking paper okay. I've never used any of the marking paper. It's cheap these days. You can get colors like silver, gold, and blue, black. I probably need to take a look at that. Those look like they could be kind of fun to work with. And to be able to do it with colors would be nice. Let's see here. Yeah, Connie, there's a couple of different brands out there. I think Ceremark has some. Led Zepp, if you want to drop in the comments what brand you use, I'll be glad to throw it up there in the comments so everybody knows what you're talking about. I have not used it yet. And Chris concurs, if you find a product that works, it is hard to move to another product unless it's you see a potential value in experimenting with it, trying it. And in this case, this versus the Norton White tile method, it's a huge time saver. Huge. There is absolutely no way that I could take a ceramic tile or a plate or whatever and go into my paint booth, spray, and then within 5 minutes have it on my laser. That ain't happening. But you can do that with this Brilliance marking spray. So depending on your applications, where you're doing it at, there's time is money. Now, if you're just doing stuff for yourself, the grandkids, and it doesn't matter, and you prep 12 dozen at a time, and they're sitting there, and all you got to do in there is just go grab one, and you want one, yeah, but so be it. But if you're doing shows or doing them on the spot and want to offer custom stuff, you can't do that with Norton White tile unless you were able to safely transport previously prepared pieces without messing them up, scratching them up. These you can prep on the spot and done. Let's see here. Settings won't be the same, but someone else's setting could get you close, therefore eliminating testing time. It might cut. I still recommend doing testing. It's like this test that I did here for this Brilliance marking spray. Brilliance has on their website a setting for a 40-watt diode. Well, I've got a 20-watt diode, not a 40-watt diode. But I found the best looking image for that and then did a pretty broad spectrum to find, a good selection to choose from. It does help you because whenever I started doing this, I didn't really have a good place to start. So I started with a really, really huge range, and I didn't even get much of a good result there at all. Hardly no black. And got a little bit better. Started getting darker and darker each one that I brought over until I finally am trying to find a good place to show you on there we go. No, there. I started to get good colors here. But when you have nothing to start with, you got to start with a big and then start narrowing down until you find your bullseye. So having somewhere to start is better than having nowhere to start, but it's still need to do testing. Uh, yeah. If I see you put them in, I've not played with it. I think, I don't know if Clack has or not. I know he likes his spray. I don't know if he's used the paper or the tape. Uh, but we'll see if he drops his the name of it down here below. And I might have to just reach out to him and see about getting some to play with and test it. Um, the complaint about the Brilliance is that the nozzle clogs. How do you handle that? You clean it. It sounds silly, and it's not a smart aleck answer, but you should do this with every spray can you use. Every spray paint, anything, any aerosol that you're spraying with, it's a simple cleaning process. You spray, 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 spray. Then once you've done, you're covered. You turn your can upside down and just hold the can for you depress the nozzle for 1 or 2 seconds, and it's going to spew out a little bit, and then it's going to be just air. And when it's just putting propellant out, you can quit. It's cleaned your nozzle, and you'll never have a clogged nozzle again. But if you're not cleaning your nozzle after you use them, I don't care what you're spraying, be it Brilliance or spray paint, it will clog your nozzle if you don't clean your nozzle. Invert the can, spray it for a second and a half, watch for it to be cleaned, and you're done. Yeah, and Lyle, that's time is money, but if you've got more time than you got money, then they offset one another. It's like, okay, which one which is more important? And what are you using it for? If you were trying to use it in uh, live demonstrations or show events or whatever, you couldn't do it with paint. So you're not going to get any sales that way. It's just what all comes down to where you're using it, how you're using it, how you're using it. Probably just tempura and an IPA and an IPA in the can with an airbrush. You could probably make your own if you keep the proportion right. I have, I've got an airbrush here that, Patrick turned me on to, and Patrick does a lot with the airbrush. But I don't like to take the time to mix stuff up, put them in the containers. I want to go in there and just pick it up, spray it, done, pick it up, put it on here, done. That's me. I just don't like all the prep work and the cleanup work and all that. I just don't have. I'd rather have. I've got other things I need to be doing. Yeah, to clear the nozzle, invert the can and press it till it clears. Yep, easy peasy. Let's see here. The only spray I don't clean is mossy killer. Mousy. I don't know what that is, Chris. All right. So this is marketed as ceramic and glass black marking spray. And I've done it on the ceramic, and I was going to try to do it on glass, but I didn't have any thick glass here. And when I went to the Dollar Tree, I was going to get some pint glasses, but they did not have a single pint glass that was just a regular pint glass. They all had marking on them all over the place already, or they were fluted or had some kind of styling to them. They didn't have any just straight pint glasses that didn't already have marking on it. So I was out of that. And I picked up some of the picture frame glass that I have here, and I tried it on one piece, but it was just too thin. It was, and it was, the laser was cracking it because the glass wasn't thick enough. It was, so that was a quality of the product issue, not the spray issue. But I did have a pack of my favorite mirrors here that I get from Lowe's, and mirrors, no two mirrors are created equal when it comes to how the mirrors are manufactured. Some of them are done with Mylar. Some of them are done with silver plating. Some of them are done with paper. And I don't, the ones you get from the Dollar Tree and the dollar store, they're junk. These are a better, the glass on them is a good 1/8 of an inch thick glass. And it is the silver plating finish on it. Whenever you scratch through this, you can actually see, I think it was, this is a paint, and I think it's got copper and then silver. Yeah. So there's a couple different, metal finishes on there to get to this plate. And it does really, really well for doing the reverse images where I engrave the back of it and expose, the image. But this is applied to the front of it. And with this applied to the front, it created something I wasn't expecting. It doesn't look bad, and if you incorporate it and think about the design you're going to be doing it with, it's actually kind of neat, because the marking that this is creating is on the surface of the glass, and the mirror is on the bottom. So you get a double image. You see the actual marking, and you see the reflection of the marking. And instead of trying to show you that by holding that just right, let's see here. All right, close that one. And is that the one I want? Yep. So there's the mirror, and you can see and I've got it at where this is photographed from an angle on purpose instead of straight on, because it looks kind of cloudy or messy. But if you look, there's actually a double image. You're seeing the image reflection, and there we go. There's a close up. So you can see the 3 up high, and then there's the reflection of the 3 on the mirror in the back. Same goes for, all the entire image. So that was kind of a neat thing that happened. But overall, I was good or happy with the way that it turned out as far as the quality of the marking. And it was super fast, super fast. Mosquito killer. Okay, yeah. I have neighbors give me their empty wine and booze clear bottles. Just your neighbors? That's the way you can, yeah, all these didn't come from my house. The neighbors brought these over. These are not mine. Not all of them. Gilding wax fill in. Well, this isn't, if you do this right, in fact, let's go back over to this one. On these tests up here, like this one up here in the very, very top, you could put gilding wax in this and might get it okay, square, because this was starting to engrave the glass. It was the wrong settings. It's too much power. But over here and down here where I'm actually marking it, there's not a lot of engraving or anything taking place. It's just creating a mark on the glass using the titanium oxide and the other proprietary components that are involved to create this, to create a black image on the surface. When you fill it, you can feel the image there, but there's no real engraving taking place if you've got your settings right. Now, this is, in fact, I read in the other video the label on here, and it says, for marking ceramics and glass, quick and easy to use, permanent high contrast black mark, used with a CO2, fiber, and YAG. That's on the label. But I don't know how many people were doing with their metal marking spray with diodes before I started doing it, but I started experimenting with the diode and was getting some really, really good results using their metal marking spray with the diode. And it's like, okay, well, that wasn't supposed to work. And I said, well, it does. It did. And now I received a reply from the Brilliance after the first video, and I said, yeah, we need to update all of our labels because it does work with diodes. But on their website, their testing was with a 40-watt diode, and I don't have a 40-watt diode in the shop right now. And your average hobbyist doesn't have a 40-watt diode. Your average hobbyist is probably going to have anywhere from a 10 to 30-watt. So this I did with the 20-watt, and it worked. I engrave the back of mirrors and then spray a color on it. Yeah, and that's what I do if I want to. You invert the image, and if you don't want to have the mirror there, and that would eliminate the double imaging like what I had here with this one. But this is for marking the surface of glass. And when we engrave the back of the glass, we're actually removing all of the mirror off of it by actually engraving that glass away. So this two different processes. And I've got a couple of videos where I've done some of that way back. But the I appreciate the ease of preparedness. Easy, you wipe it down with alcohol, clean up the surface, and then spray. It's done within a matter of about 5 to 6 minutes. You're in here on this laser and you're ready to go. And then to clean it up, I showed in the video from this week, you take it right off the laser bed, and I started with just a soft, clean rag and just started wiping it off, and it's coming right off. I took it to the sink and a little water and a damp rag and cleaned it up really good. But you don't have to use paint thinner or paint remover or anything like that, like you do with the Norton white tile method. So you don't have to put up with smells or chemicals and all that good stuff. All right. So I am fortunate enough, and I'm not gonna do any real-time testing with this stuff tonight. You can watch the video from this week for the plate, because I did show the time lapse. Oh, I meant Gurmeet's here. Gurmeet is from Brilliance, and I did invite Brilliance to come in and correct me about anything that I may have missaid or misspoke, because everybody here knows I make mistakes. And very often, I don't know what I'm talking about. Even when I'm coming from a place from experience, what I experienced and how I understood what was happening may or may not be a complete factual representation. It's just how this redneck understood what was going on. So we're going to bring Gurmeet in here, and he might clarify a thing or two about what I said. So let me see here. There's add a stage. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And I can hear you. Hey, welcome to the show. And thank you I know you had a lot going on this evening, and thank you for taking a few minutes to correct anything that I said.
Yeah, not a problem. I was off and on listening. Just like your sorry to hear about your father. And I'm taking care of my mother as well, and I had to make sure somebody was there at this point in time. I tried the rehab. I tried a lot of other places, but there's nothing like home.
No. Yep.
Yeah, and she's getting old. She's too frail, and um, she likes me around.
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And as long as I can keep him here and not somewhere, I would rather, keep him, like you said, home.
correct.
But so did I make any gross mistakes about my perception of what was taking place?
No. I think you're absolutely right. I remember we have been working on this formulation for a long time, not because it was that hard to figure it out for our scientists, but there's a lot that goes into it. You're challenged with million different type of substrates, different
Yeah.
manufacturers, right? Different type of laser machines. Although you see there's on our product label, We still don't have diode written on it, but back when we started working on this, this label is a little older. And years ago, if you remember, diode lasers were like 2 watts, three
Yeah,
watts. It
two,
was, it
two
was,
and a
it was
half.
a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
And you know, we took on the challenge later on, very later stage with diode, and turned out diode gives us a really good result. So we had to massage it every time we made some changes. You know, formulation is easy to make. Anybody can, you know, a lot of people can say, I just use some titanium dioxide or something. But again, you know, bringing a product that is going to work in an aerosol, is going to work in different situations, right? Different type of machines. Machines. One machine is not equal to other machines, just like you were saying before. The substrates are different, right?
yep, yep,
One substrate, you can say the same thing. Oh, this is 3 or 4 stainless steel, but somebody else makes it and it's made in China or India or something. The composition is different, you know, and you're 100% accurate that it's always best to do your own grid test,
yep,
you know, under your circumstance, under your machine. Even on our website, you know, we're our tech support people. They always tell our customers that, hey, this is general guideline settings. This is just to give you a little, you know, taste of what where you should be, so you can just like you were saying before, like you have a little guideline setting, and then you made your own grid around it, and then and try to understand like what, you know, really works and sticks.
yep.
So there's a lot that goes into it, and you know, we take pride in making our products. Really,
You know, when I first started experimenting with the Norton white tile method, I got into the rabbit hole deep. I started getting MSDS sheets from manufacturers, getting their titanium content, and there's some of them. A lot of them will show you the percentages and stuff like that of how much titanium is in, because some paints have a whole lot more than others. But then I started playing with, okay, well, if titanium dioxide is the secret sauce, I went and purchased a 1 pound bag of titanium dioxide, which I think was even food grade. All right. Um, but then, all right, so fine, you got that, and even if that is the secret sauce, how do you get it onto the surface evenly so that it marks consistently, dries thorough, you know? And that was, you know, and I spent a couple of weeks playing with different things and different atomizers and different combinations, and finally, when I found the metal marking spray, I was like, I ain't never going down that path again. It ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it.
right, right.
So
No, I saw and I heard somebody talking about clogging issue, and they're absolutely right. We did have some clogging issue. Again, you know, sometimes you try to massage the formulation or something, or you know, we really take care of the quality checks, and unfortunately the random quality check that we had didn't catch some of the clogging issues, and this was launched, if you remember, you know, I think you were saying in your last video, this was launched in the last quarter of the last year,
yeah.
but then we took it off the shelf because we heard some complaints, and basically we just wiped it out. We don't want to have any more complaints about it. We did a lot of investigation about it, and I'm telling you guys, is guaranteed not to clog. I mean, generally aerosol cans can clog or leak their propellant. You know,
Yeah.
those issues still are valid. You know, we do our quality check, we do our leak test, so they are 100% checked. But yes, there's always going to be that 10% out of the production that may go wrong, and that's where we are. But uh, go try it. It's 100% money back guaranteed if there's a clog issue.
All right. So uh I Brilliant sent me this can for me to allow to test with and all that, but I did ask them to, in addition to that, send me an extra can so I could give it to one of you guys, the lucky viewers, so you don't have to purchase your first can.
Sure.
So we're going to give away that right now. And to do that, all you need to do is in the comment field, type in the word, or type in the comment hashtag Brilliance. And I'm going to show you that right here so you'll know how to spell it. Brilliance, BRILLIANCE, hashtag Brilliance. If you will put in hashtag Brilliance, we're going to let those entries start collecting. And if anybody's got any questions while we have Gurmeet here, now's the time to post those questions. And Chris says the real advantage to having, I missed it. The real advantage to having spray cans is the consistency of formula and the propellant. Yep.
100% right.
Yep. So if there's any questions or comments, we've got the guru here for the Brilliance product. If we can pick his brain while we have him, and like I said, he's got his hands full too right now, caring for a family member. If anybody hasn't gone down that road, you can appreciate it. If you haven't, count your blessings. It's a blessing to do it, but boy, it can be rough on both the parent and the caregiver.
It definitely is, you know, and all of a sudden, just takes a little quick switch in your life, and life just pauses on you.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody,
you know, and that also tells us, you know, how we should have a gratitude towards the life that we have, you know, and just love everyone, love God, and help others. Be honest. That's my motto, because in a jiffy, you know, we're done.
Yep. Yeah. Carl asks, do you have a website where they can leave comments on the product?
Sure, we do have a website.
And
talking about yours or mine?
Yours. And that's brillianceinc.com, right?
Yes, brilliancelaserinks.com.
Okay, so I'm going to put
INKS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go on to the product and leave comment on it, or reviews.
I'm going to put it in the comments here.
Yeah, we're heavily available on Amazon as well. Walmart,
do you have a preference? Do you know, do they prefer you order from Amazon or from your site?
Well, we sometimes run different deals, so I would prefer everybody comes to our website, you know. But obviously there are a lot of other reasons people want to buy from Amazon, and we honor it.
Now, I put the link in there, but the link you want to use if you want to go to Brilliance Laser Inks, and I should have done this to begin with. Brilliance, let's see here, Laser Inks. No, dummy. And I'm the dummy. I'm always messing up. I'll make a mistake faster than anybody. Go to Hobo with Wood, hobowithwood.com/Brilliance Inks. If you use that, and I just popped that in there too, hobowithwood.com/Brilliance Inks, that's going to take you to their website. And it'll also let them know that you came over there because of my redneck mouth. And I'll get a whopping 54 cents.
It's actually social work there.
Yeah, exactly. But that'll be the same website, hobowithwood.com/Brilliance Inks. Then you can put your comments in there too. I won't go to the product you're referring to, and you got a comment section under the products. Is that what you got?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been while I checked that section of it, but every product section should have a review, you know, product review that you can just you can go on Trustpilot, you can go on Google, you can, you know, review just like your link, or Amazon. There are a million different ways to give us a review. Hopefully, it's good.
And Sharon says, you both and your parents are in our prayers. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
And yep, now I have some idea what my mother went through raising 5. Yes. I tell you, it is the script gets flipped, you know, and
exactly,
and you know, and that's what I told him the other day. I was like, you know, the first 18 formidable years of my life, he was there with his thumb on me sometimes, and sometimes propping me up and push me along. Well, now it's my turn to do that.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and but
It's amazing how at that age, or that, my mom, just like with other challenges that's, with the health that she's coping up with. She just had a stroke like not too long ago, and that really, shook me, because it just basically took her from, a some type of life to nothing.
yeah, yeah.
And that was really and, and now I call my mom is my, so you're my daughter now. I'm your daddy, because now you gotta listen to me. Before, you were changing my diapers, and now it's the other way around.
And this is something that I don't know if you've put this together or not. I finally did. I was like, okay, well, when I was the teenager and I was resisting, well, it's kind of the same thing now. Their resistance they're not wanting to do that, and they're acting out that teenager mentality, resisting on the control or the support. They don't want to lose that independence. When we were teenagers, we were trying to gain our independence.
Yeah.
Here, they're just not wanting to release it. They don't want to let go of it.
Right.
It's tough, but this is even tougher. Kathy says I'm taking care of my mom who is in home hospice care, and that God,
Oh,
you
sorry to
know,
hear that.
yeah, it's rough, rough, rough,
God
rough.
bless.
Taking care of my mother was just a tiny way of saying thank you to her. Yes, sir, for the years she took care of
And
me. Yep.
and the key word is tiny way, and you're 100% right.
All right. So we've had 39 people enter, or 30. There may have been a whole lot of double entries, but I wasn't going to say anything to all y'all didn't there doing it. If you do it once, it's all that mattered. I've
Yeah.
seen several of you did it 2 or 3 times. I was like, go ahead, wear them fingers out.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to draw this, and what I need for the winner to do is after the live stream, just email me, hobowithwood@gmail.com. Say, Brilliance winner with your shipping information, and I'll ship this out as soon as the snow melts.
It's still
Because
coming down, huh?
yeah, nothing is going anywhere. I've been waiting on a package from FedEx now for going on about 3 or 4 days, because we had a huge ice storm that came through last, I think, Monday, dumped over an inch of ice. And now we've got 8 inches of snow on top of ice that hadn't all melted. So it's a mess. All right. So drawing time. Draw. All right. Led Zepp. All right. And you were talking about you had used the marking paper and stuff before. Have you ever used any of these sprays, be it Brilliance or Ceramark or anything? I'm curious because he is marking. I'm wondering what all he's tried before.
Sure.
And my neighbor said he's just measured 9.5 inches of snow, and he's about 10 minutes away from me. So it's
Ooh.
still coming down. I know he's still in the stream. What else have you used, Led Zepp? It looks like a good product, just a little pricey for me. Yeah, well, it like I said, it's all relevant. It's all relevant. And when you talk about the paper and the tapes and stuff that you use, how much does it cost? How much coverage do you get? That's
I
one
was just going to talk
application,
about the
one
coverage
time.
myself. Yep.
So to have the same amount of coverage from your tape and your paper that you can get from one of these cans, how does it equate? Do you know, Gurmeet, what? Because I think I did read that what the coverage was from a can.
Yeah, yeah. The can, again, it's up to 4,000 square inches.
Okay.
So it's almost like a 4 by 8 sheet. You can get a sheet rock, or you can cover the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, it takes a little practice, right? How
Yeah.
much to spray, when to spray, and you don't have to like overspray in certain areas where you don't need. There's no business, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you can go up to 4,000 square inches.
Okay. Let's see here.
That's another thing, that's what I was saying. I'm not sure that how much is the marking paper. If you really divide that, you can probably beat their price.
Yeah. Now we've got people from all over the world tuning in right now, and a couple of them are from Australia and New Zealand. And Terry here is from New Zealand. He says to get a can here in New Zealand, it would cost him $390.
Wow.
That's a bit pricey.
So here's what is going on. So we recently invested in a system on our website that gives automatic pricing, and I think we're still struggling to understand and how to maneuver it. There are services out there that trying to calculate your DDP cost, right? The taxes, the tariff, and this and that. Sometimes it we've seen it does make a mistake. If you see a very high priced value, please reach out to us directly and just send an email to support@brilliancelaserinks.com, and we should really help you out with that. We do sell it to the international market all the time. We were just trying to do a little, good deed that we were trying to give more tools on the website. I don't think this is working out that good.
Yeah, and the problem is, and I'm going through this right now. A lot of times you don't know there's a problem until somebody tells you.
Exactly, and thank you for bringing it up. That's exactly what I was thinking, Steve. That I got to go talk to my team. What's going on? We got to check, do some checks and balances there.
Yeah, because I just launched a new website, and I thought I tested everything, but I've had 4 broken links reported to me this week that I missed.
Yeah.
So he finally he replied that the paper you can cut into the size and shape that you need, etc. And it's about $2 a sheet, and it's a little larger than an A4 paper. So, and that gets where you talk about cutting it to the size and piece of area that you need. When I did this plate, I did cover this entire plate. I didn't need to because I knew I was only going to mark this place right here, but I did it more for effect for the video, so you could see that transition, how it all dried, and the way I did the coverage and all that. If I was doing these for production or at a show, I'm going to concentrate just in that area right there, not this entire thing. And
yeah. So I was just trying to calculate. A4 is pretty close to 8.5 by 11, right? So if you do 8 by 11, 8 times 11, that's 88 square inches. So if you do 4,000 divided by 88 square inches, that's 45, pieces, or 45 A4 sheets you can do without product. And if you time it at $2, that's $90 you're spending, as opposed to 40 some dollars with us.
yeah,
And a lot of times we run some deals, and you can get good prices. Steve knows about it, and for $40, you're basically spending double the amount by buying those papers.
yeah. The only thing about it is, if you're able to buy a 5-pack of those sheets, and you don't use it very often, and you can cut those up, and that 5-pack is going to last you 6 months, and you spent $10 for it, versus, but if you're using a lot, if you're doing a lot of glasses, or you're doing, now that's when the volume of it, now it pays off. It's all relative, and what's important to you, the time, the savings, and preparation, and all that. Is it, do you want to have a $45 can sitting over on the shelf for the next 3 years that is going to maybe potentially lose its propellant, or but if you're using volume, using a lot of it, cost per square inch, he just showed you the math, it's cheaper.
Yes, some of the cans from very beginning of our business, they're still sitting here, and it's been like 8 years later. We take it out, and we sometimes test it just for the heck of it, and it sprays. Obviously, we don't claim 8 years. That'd be terrible for our business. So But yeah, it can last for a very long time.
All right. Anybody got any other questions? Wow, we got to see. Here we go. Let's see. Davis, I found that using titanium dioxide was very messy on my laser. Yeah. Brilliance is
Thank you.
better. Yes. Uh,
Yeah, just like the other guy says, too. It's all about consistency and a right amount of spray. Yeah, and it's convenience. It's convenience and speed. A lot of businesses buy from us, and they're looking for speed. They just don't want to invent the wheel, right? They just want to buy it, spray it, done. And that's the kind of approach we want to take.
And Larry says he watched the video. Yeah, and I didn't talk about this. He says, I watched your video twice. You talked about the prep and spraying it on the X and Y axis, but you didn't mention the plate prep process. Did you clean it with IPA? I did not use IPA. I used denatured alcohol. I didn't use isopropyl rubbing alcohol that you get at the drugstore. I did use denatured alcohol that you get from the paint department at your Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and just wiped it clean and then allowed that to evaporate and dry and
Yeah.
good to go.
Yep.
And is IPA okay, or do you need to use?
Yes, that's no, it's fine. We normally use denatured alcohols because we have other products and we kind of want to keep this consistent words here. What we have seen with other type of IPA is my second choice. Denatured is first one. But for ceramic and glass, we have not seen any issues. Sometimes other solvents can be very rough and then they tarnish, like metal products especially. They can tarnish your shape, your finish,
Yeah.
which we want to stay away from.
And Led Zepp says, I'll report back once I've done the comparison. It's the least I can do. Yes, and I appreciate you because, like I said, I have not used your, and I don't think you ever mentioned anywhere. If you did mention it, Led, I missed a comment. What brand of this paper tape are you using? What is it you're using? Just so if I might want to get it and do a heads up comparison myself. The titanium. No, this stuff. This is not food grade. This is not safe to consume. This is right. Didn't I say see poisonous on the can? Gurmeet?
Yeah, well, so it's stipulated. It does have dangerous marks on it.
Yeah,
That's more for the flammability, right? But a lot of the ingredients that we use, we try to use food grade. But if somebody says, "Hey, do you have a FDA certificate?" No, we don't. So we don't claim it. We don't say it if it's food grade safe. But it's a lot of the ingredients are safe to use in certain areas. Again, this is unofficial.
right. So if I've prepared my plate, put it on a laser, and I got a little bit on my thumb, and the next thing I know, they're doing this. I'm not licking on my thumb, but if I brush it, I'm not going to fall over. I'm not going to fall over.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna do that. But again, you be safe because any balance of everything is needed, right? You cannot have these spraying onto your sandwiches and stuff. No, you don't want to do that. That
No.
will definitely hurt you. Uh,
And
so
I
no.
did, yes, Carl, I did mention in the other video, I turn my air assist off when I'm using this. It is a powder. It's got a really good coverage to it. And when you use this stuff, and if you watched, and a really good telltale is that video where I started dry wiping that plate after I engraved the plate. It didn't want to come off just with a brush of a hand. If I put my finger in it, I could smudge it, but I couldn't blow it off.
Hmm.
And I had to use some friction to get it to break loose and release from the plate. But at the same time, there's no need for the air assist because you're not cutting. So turn the air assist off, and that way you're not blowing any excess, blowing anything away.
And I
So
think
yeah,
maybe Steve, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think it's probably coming from the last time also we spoke about the other product that we have for metal product that does come off with very slight air or something. So we
yeah,
normally have a rule of thumb that turn the air off. It's not needed.
yeah,
So it's this one is a little bit sticky to begin with, but it's easy to remove at the end.
yeah. I did, and now that you mentioned that, I do. it's been a while since I've done the metal marking, but yeah, the metal marking it could it brush right off really easy compared to this. But this
Yeah.
has some. It does adhere.
Right.
It's not, it doesn't blow off quite as easy.
No.
Let's see. If spraying it in cold weather, will it dry better if the part is heated with a heat gun? So, would you prep the ceramic or glass with heat before you sprayed it?
We have not really tested that, as a matter of fact, and we have not really seen any difference in whether, temperature wise that much. We have not really gone to very very extreme negative degrees to test it out as well. But spraying in a little bit cold weather, um, or I would say anywhere 50 degrees. I think we've tried that, and in one of the garages, no issues at all.
And as far as this is just coming from not scientific based any testing, just on what I would think, I assume to be correct. If I'm going to be if I'm prepping in this environment and I'm going to be lasering in this environment, if I can, I'm going to prep in this environment. I don't go heating my plate up. If it's 60 degrees in here, I'm going to prep it at 60 degrees, put it in my laser at 60 degrees, and mark it at 60 degrees. I don't
That
know that there's any advantage, because I would think that if you heat it up, is it going to, because the rapid drying is because of their secret sauce of their alcohol mixture, whatever they're using,
propellant,
and
yes.
it evaporates, it wicks fast. It's really, really rapid drying. And I don't think heat is going to make any difference there. It might make a little bit of difference, but not enough that warrants preheating the plate. And then I would be worried about if you heated the plate, applied it on there, and then it dried, and could the possibility of any cracking take place with the coverage because of contrast, constricting of the material? I wouldn't do it myself. I don't see any need to do it.
Yeah, I want to, you're 100% right. I think we have tested our cans in a very cold, extreme temperatures, but we have not really tested substrates to be in a very cold place. But just like you said, if your machines are there, your substrate is there, basically they're all ideally the similar temperatures, and then you're not going to have any issues. But if you notice that on the setting side, especially with the ceramic and glass, they are actually, we're bringing down the power a lot. You can almost get like even 10-watt laser can do a good job on ceramics. So you need a little bit higher on glass, but it's very doable. Even CO2. I'm trying to find this is done on fiber, and I'm telling you, man, a fiber laser does a fantastic job. This was done at an APA show. I don't know if you guys know APA show. Our team went to the APA show, and then that's where they did this right live in front of like the visitors. It
Yeah,
just came out beautiful. Is it
and
backwards
that's
over there, or is this
no, you're
maybe
right. You're right, and that's fiber.
this was diode. The
Oh, it's
glass
diode. Okay.
paperweight was diode. What I noticed, and I want to bring it to you and to the viewers through you, Steve, is speed and power and interval,
Yeah.
right? So speed and power is really really important. So once you try a grid test or something, you can figure out a speed and power. The first thing is to find out what sticks, and then you can work on the blackness of it or the color, right? We were actually coming with blue and green very soon. But then you work with the color, and for to get really Z black, uh, few things we noticed that you want to try. One is the interval,
Yeah.
DPI, or line distance in fiber laser, right? We call it hatch. In fiber you call it hatch. In diode we call it interval. So we saw anywhere from 0.004 to point 0.1 is a really good number to get good mark if for the interval.
Throw
The resolution of the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, throw this into your testing because, and I'm glad you brought this up because I
Yeah.
have it on here and I failed to mention it. If 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 you this
Yeah. That's a lot of time.
it's hard to do with the mirror, but
Yeah.
it says 20-watt diode pre-focused 3 millimeters. And by pre-focused, what I mean, I actually lifted the laser 3 millimeters above my optimal focal point, which enlarges the dot size of the diode,
Oh,
and did a 0.1 line interval. So
right.
now it's larger. It's the line interval is larger than you're really fine, and
Right.
I've got a larger spot size. So
Yes.
there's quite a bit of overlapping going on as this laser is scanning.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in addition to playing with line interval, I found that out of those the 4 different tests, the one that got me the best blacks and best markings was after I lifted the focus 3
Yeah.
millimeters.
Yeah. And that do you think it's just because of the meter itself? Because because
I
right now I'm not sure how you setting your focus with the physical stick or something or measurement, or is it
you
autofocus?
focal gauge, a
Okay.
step focal gauge, and
Okay.
then this would be optimum. If this was the honeycomb, then you
Right.
set the here. But to raise it, I put 6 or 3 millimeters of material underneath it,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
raise it additional 3 mil.
Yeah.
Uh, and I do that with my bamboo whenever I engrave bamboo, just regular. And I found that raising the spot size or raising the laser to increase the spot size with that 0.1 line interval is making the spot size so much larger that it does get a little overlap each time it passes. And
Mhm.
it gives on bamboo, it really changes how dark the bamboo engraves. Bamboo engraves terrible. Bamboo
Yeah.
it's a grass, it's not a wood, and it engraves horrible. But if you slow it down and raise the focus, it can give you a really dark black engraving. So I tried that with this, and by slowing it down and raising it, that's when I got my blackest black on that
Right.
mirror.
So additionally, what I wanted to add, Steve, was one is the hatch or the fill or the interval. It's really, really important. So if you guys are doing some grid tests, obviously you want to have some general starting guidelines from a website or Steve, you can give them. But I would say do a grid test for interval
Mhm.
as well, and or I think that the changing the focus would be my last resort, last straw. But yeah, the interval was very important, and frequency in fiber laser is very, very important. DPI is also important in CO2. So this was done, and it blew my mind away. I don't know if you can see this. The clarity and the darkness is beautiful,
Yeah,
and there's
it
so
is
many
very
different
dark.
type of glasses, right? This is a little softer glass, and we've done like tests on a million different type of glass, and it sure has different type of darkness on different type of substrate. What I noticed was, when we did this is our logo.
Yeah,
The logo is really, really high resolution, and I don't know how the artist made it. Every time we try the logo, it blows my mind, because anything that you download from online, or even if we create something, I think there's a science behind creating your artwork.
yeah.
uh, not only resolution, there's a million things in somebody was showing me in Corel Draw, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I can download the same image and I try it. If my artist does it, the same thing looks 10 times better on our product. So it's something that even I want to learn, like, what is that, the magic that we do with the artwork. I mean, you guys can work with this all the time. I'm the director of operations here. I don't really work with this all the time, but sometimes I wonder what is behind artwork. Steve, do
Well,
you?
and before I go to this next question from Andy, something else. Of those 4 tests, um, because I tell people, I talk about this a lot on my channel. Your spot size on a diode is not round.
Yeah.
It's ovaloid. It's going to be a
Oh.
different size spot size when you scan on the X than it is when you scan on the Y.
Hmm.
And
Good to
that's
know.
and so whenever I raise the focus and scan on the X, it's making it overall bigger, but it's not making it a whole lot bigger than it would if I just did it on the Y. All right. But Y is slower because it's moving all of the gantry to do everything. The speeds are usually slower.
Mhm.
But what I tried to see if it made a difference, and I'm curious if once the laser contacts the chemical and it does a pass, is there any advantage of a crosshatch or a double pass?
Well, in fiber laser, this question comes up a lot, and every time we try to do crosshatch, it didn't help.
I
It
didn't
didn't
see
help.
it help at all with the diode either.
Yeah, yeah. Its crosshatch was actually taking the already printed material off, or
Exactly.
making it fade, making it faded. So no,
I,
crosshatch is a no. Every time fiber laser, we say just stick to 0.1 millimeters on fiber laser, and 0 degree or 90 degree. Let's just flat lines
yeah,
parallel to your to the floor.
yeah, yeah,
Those look the best.
yeah.
Not even angle, not even 45.
Well,
Forget about the hatch.
that's what I was seeing with my test. That it
Yeah.
looked like crosshatch was erasing it more than it was doing
Yes.
anything. So
Yes.
I was like, okay, no.
And again, a lot of people say, let me do a double pass. That does the same thing like a crosshatch.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
it's a one time deal. So if it's not looking good, there's something else that needs to be changed. Double passes very seldom. I've seen our customers, they send us pictures. They say double pass, and I shake my head. I don't know like how they got such a good result. And again, there's always somebody out there who's
Right.
gonna outsmart us.
Yeah. Well, and that's I say it all the time. There's always another way, and there's no wrong answer. And if your end result is your desired result,
Exactly.
that's what works.
Go for it. Yeah.
So Andy and this is a good question because I just did this on a plate, and I did this for a trophy, not more than not for eating. But Andy's asking if you use this on a plate for food, or can you use the plate for food after you engrave it with Brilliance? So can I
Yeah.
eat off
So
this plate?
it's a very good question. Like I said before, for a lot of other reasons, we and obviously we don't have an FDA certificate, so no, we cannot say this is approved. But as we said, we are using food grade material. Now again, that doesn't make it edible, right?
Right.
Um, the worst the what you have to see is we have the short answer is yes. Why? I'll tell you why. Because and it depends on the operator how much are they really testing before it goes with the food, right? So if it's not 100% sticking onto the surface, obviously there's something wrong with the settings, right? Or the substrate itself is coming off.
Yeah.
And that we cannot take the guarantee, or we cannot really take what do you call,
Responsibility.
can, exactly, responsibility for on that. And that if the settings were not right, and then the powdery material is not 100% sticking to the thing, it's still coming off, and you rub your finger onto it, it's still coming, making it a little black. Obviously you don't want to put food onto it.
Yeah.
Right. But again, now can we claim that? No. Right, because we don't know how the operator is really going to mark onto it. So
And from this one, that this looks good. And if I can rub my hand here with my eyes closed, and I can tell where the lines are. I can feel the marking, right? So
yeah,
I can feel it's not engraved. It's just a permanent mark that's on there. But if I throwed me a 16-ounce sirloin on there, and I go at it with some steak knives and forks, and I start cutting at everything,
exactly.
I'm pretty good chance I'm gonna scratch and mar this up. So
What's not machinable? Everything is machinable. Just need a little better tool to cut it.
yeah. So
Right. As these are my favorite. So this was done on a CO2, and it just came out so beautiful, and it's so smooth to the touch. I don't know if you can even imagine, like, what's going, like, there's nothing that nothing is coming off of that, and
right.
smooth to the touch. Now different laser machines, that this was done on a diode. This is beautiful as well. It's just a little bit deposit. You can feel the standing up onto the surface. And this machine, this was the Universal Laser Systems CO2, and this was diode laser, 40-watt Creality Falcon 2. Did a wonderful job. These are done on fiber lasers, and I'm telling you, the darkness on the fiber lasers is way better than anything else. Um,
Yeah, I have not gone down the road of fiber yet. I've got a CO2 here, but I hate using it, and I do want to invest in a fiber. I want to get me a fiber in here.
yeah. No, we
Um,
have a variety of different customers. Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to take
I
you.
was just looking to see other questions here because I don't want to keep you forever and ever, and I want to get everybody's questions answered. If Brilliance contains titanium dioxide, do you have to shake it a lot to keep the titanium suspended?
Well,
So
go ahead.
I shook mine really, really well for this plate. Got good coverage. I mean, it don't take long to cover. You know, if you're doing the 4x8 sheet that he was talking about, yeah, you're probably going to shake it a time or two between. But if you're doing a little project, I don't see the need to shake it between passes. What say you, Gurmeet?
Yeah, no. Again, we besides certain, we don't have one type of material there, because it's a mixture of different chemicals for suspension, for mobility of it through the um, aerosol, and there's so many other parameters we have to check for different type of laser machines, different frequencies, different wavelengths, and different substrates, that we really have to go above and beyond. It's just not one material in it.
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of it. And that's why it took us such a long time. And if just a little tiny hiccup, it gave us little clogging issues as well, and then that's been taken care of as well. So yes, you should shake it really well. It's a suspension. It's not a solution, right? It's a mixture of a lot of the different things. So you want to shake it. If you keep this product for like 10 minutes or something, you've already shaken it like a couple minutes before. Just kind of give it a little quick, while before you're going to spray it again. So you
yeah.
definitely shake it.
When I picked that one up just a minute ago and went to shake it, the rattle wouldn't move because everything had just sunk, and
It's done.
you
Yeah,
shake it up and get that rattle ball moving really well.
correct.
Once it's a consistent rattle, then you got a
Yes,
good mix going on.
correct. Correct.
All right. So Chris says, as a general rule, if you are comfortable, most sprays will work as advertised. So and question, well, they ask, will they be? But you've already said they will. When would you expect the colors to be out?
Don't know yet, but this is something that we've done tests. As you can see, this is
Let me pull
green.
you
Can you
full screen
check the
here.
color?
Oh yeah,
So
okay,
this is black,
right. And I see the green.
green, and the blue. I don't know if blue looks like black.
Yeah, blue.
Um, so we're checking that. We're checking on the different power settings. That's the bottom one is blue, the top one's green. Um, I don't know, to be honest. There's a lot of checks and balances going on. We're trying to find different shades of colors, and that has been a big question, because obviously when we come up with colors, is going to say, "Hey, can you give me this Pantone color?" No,
Well,
we won't be able to do
well,
that.
here you go. Not sure if it's possible, but can silver or gold? Can you do the like you say there?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
can you do this? Can you do that? Yep,
So
yep.
again, I would say, again, the artwork and shading, dithering. There's so many tools in artwork that can change a little bit of color shades. So one color, even the black, can give you gray in certain settings, right? So it depends. It depends on the creativity, as well as our product. Combination of two, a combination of good operator, good machine, and a product is the ultimate.
All right, I've got an opinion on this, but I want to hear yours first. Is when the material is transparent, like that crystal you just had out there.
Right.
When it's transparent, is it better to mark on the front or the back?
It's a very good question. Actually, even at the show, we did some glass. Somebody just gave us a glass, and it was very, very hard glass, and it started to shatter a little bit with the CO2 power. We lowered it down, and it was still giving a little sprinkle of glass. And at that moment, I said, guys, if this is the type of glass you're gonna mark, I would recommend make a mirror image and put it on the back of it. So you when you touch it, it's you don't get the you don't
You don't
again
get the
now.
yeah, but it's
Now
I,
that one is definitely a no food. Don't put food on
yeah,
top of it
yeah,
because
yeah,
now now you're working with a shattered glass. So again, you look at this. This surface is where we marked it. But if you look at on the back of it, if I turned it around, now you're going to see a mirror image of it
yeah,
on the glass, and it looks actually better. It looks like two times darker when you put it on the back of it, and you cover. Say if you want to make a image or picture or a award for someone, right? Do it on the back. Do it on mirror image, and it's going to look even two times better, and it will never you'll never you can it'll look very smooth to the touch.
yeah.
It's a
And
very
that's
good idea and good
and
question
that's
there.
what I was going to say is the answer that I would give would be yes. Do you do it
Yeah,
on the front or the back? Yes. It
yeah,
depends on the application. What is your end use? What do you want it to look like? How do you want it to present? You're going to have two different looks. I think like that crystal there and doing it for an award presentation, I would do a mirrored image and do it on the back, and because it's going to give a different effect. You're going to have some depth to that image. And if you got one there,
I'm trying to look for the there was I had a little glass tile, a really thin glass tile, and it normally shatters or the
well,
glass like this one here cup. We're trying little shot glasses, and it looks beautiful. Like if you put it, this is done on the front. So if you look in the back, obviously you have to put it in the front. You cannot go
right,
inside of it, and you cannot put it on this side of the glass because you can. So certain examples will won't work. But
right,
flat surfaces,
yeah,
surfaces
yeah.
like
Obviously,
this,
yeah,
yeah,
pint glasses and shot glasses, it's going to have to go on the outside. But on those
right,
awards, that might actually doing it inverted and on the back is going to give some extra depth. I mean, when you're
yeah,
looking at it, it's
right.
going to have a different look to it.
Oh yeah, definitely,
So,
definitely.
so David, the answer to your question, do you do it on the front or the back? Yes. Ed asked, will it work on acrylic?
No, no, we are actually working on that because we have another division where we make additives for plastics. Again, those plastics, a lot of customers, they when they come to our website looking at these aerosol spray cans and they start buying our plastic substance, master batch, that's a complete industry. Is different where that you need a molding machine to mold it within the plastic part. But no, acrylic would be nice, and I think we have some ideas on that, but again, another day.
So, Chris had a suggestion about when they get a really good marking when they say they get a double pass and it's really, really dark. He said the possibility is they had it applied too thick.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility, and then obviously you're spending double the amount of substrate, sorry, the product as well as time.
Yeah, yeah,
So I would say, our product should be like one time deal, and all you have to do is just massage your settings
yeah. And
and
it's
spray thickness.
and a lot of the guys and gals that do some of this stuff, they do different images and they do photographs and do all kind of images with the lasers. That's art. And when they get a really, really awesome image, that's because they've been doing it for so long and really got it tested and dialed in. And they know what they're doing. They know how to use that tool.
Yeah,
And it's the same thing with this. The more I use it, and the more like, here I was doing an X and then a Y with my spray to make sure I had good even coverage. But as Chris talking about, that might have been too heavy of a coat. I might not have needed to do all that. And if I do lesser of an application, I'm going to get a different result. And then it becomes learning how to apply it
yeah,
along with which power and speed settings. There's a learning curve with all of
yeah.
this stuff. Uh,
Right, right, right.
but ultimately, the biggest thing about this is how fast it is.
Yes, absolutely. This is one of my favorite. I mean, obviously, this is our second best selling product in the market right now because the first one has been our, from the beginning of the time. but I'm telling you, I love this product myself. It's just amazing how I just showed you these examples, and these are not photoshopped. These are real examples,
Yeah, yeah.
and they look fantastic. It's just a matter of getting your right settings, right spray pattern, thickness, your focus, your machine behavior, cleanliness of the lenses. Your optics needs to be clean because the deterioration of the machine. There's so many factors that can keep your consistent level of quality.
I'm not sure I quite follow lead. I think I do here. It says you should make a plastic with a laser sensitive agent in it already. No application needed. I don't think
Yes.
that's in, I don't know if that's in Brilliance's wheelhouse, but that would
Well,
be
it is, and
okay.
there are discussions going on. So I understand what you're saying, and this has been discussed as well. But again,
That would
it's like a big um the real big opportunity, big responsibility we got to take one day. But it's just so many things you can do in an hour and 24. I wish there were 48 hours in a day sometimes.
wouldn't matter. It still wouldn't be enough because if you get 48, they're going to give you
I get
50
used
hours
to
worth
it
of
again.
work. You know, it's that's why I tell people you want to be careful on how much you let your boss know that you can do, because once they know you can do, they're going to expect you to do that and then some. So,
Yeah, obviously,
so just be
100%.
careful. Do what they want you to do, but don't let them know you can do a whole lot more because you'll be expected to. Let's see here. What if you spray and engrave, then spray again and engrave it again? The same design. It
I'll let you handle this, Steve.
well, uh, first a couple of if you're using a machine like the Rolly and a jig, and you're able to get perfect placement, and you're not going to have to worry about alignment issues. If you eliminate that headache completely, we already discussed about when I did the double pass. That's why would you want to? Number one, why? What purpose would you be trying to accomplish if you got your speed and settings right to get the optimum color and finish with your first attempt? Why would you need to make a second one? I would work instead of doing all that extra work every time you needed to do a project. I would spend the extra time in finding and dialing that in
Thank
to
you.
get it right the first time.
The grid test. I mean, these days the grid test is such an easy thing to do. What's the name of the software?
So light burn.
Lightburn has made it so simple to create a grid test. I remember I sat in front of a computer like several years ago and making my squares different colors and giving it a different thing. Oh my god, it was a headache. And people would say, "Hey, can you share my your grid test?" I'll say, "I can share it to you, but it's not going to work for you."
No.
But Lightburn had it made it so simple. Guys, I would always recommend get your substrate, create a grid test, get your general guide settings. We're always here to help. You can go out on our website. We are actually working on our settings page. I don't really like it the way it is right now. Now there's a lot of things missing and not accurate. We're working on that. We would really apologize for this, but please call us. Call us if you buy from anywhere. Doesn't matter where you buy from. Call us, and our tech support will really help you out. Or just send us a text message, and then we'll help you out on that.
And Chris,
But it's very, very recommended that you do the grid test under your circumstances. And make sure all the other, and always when you change some things, don't change too many at a time. One variable at a time. One variable at a time. If you just want to first test power and then speed, there's a lot of theoretical numbers you will know, because if you do more, you will know. Okay, this is stainless steel. You already know a starting line, right? Starting guideline. If you're going to a really high conductive metal, you're gonna say, okay, this is gonna dissipate heat such a fast way. I gotta be slower and much higher power, right? So it's some your gut feeling is gonna tell you a lot once you know more practice. But again, grid test is the way to go.
and that's what Chris summed it up right there. There's no shortcut when it comes
Yes.
to material testing.
Yes.
No shortcut. And Carl says the reason he's talking about it is to try and get a darker image. but he just showed you some really, really good examples with almost Z black on that crystal with one pass.
Yes,
But
with
it
his one
didn't,
pass.
but he didn't get there by guessing at it. They did a lot of tests to get that dark black.
Yeah,
And
this is actually, I don't know. We have a video on this that we made this on in the at APA. Well, we have this paperweight and also a crystal that somebody just brought within the show. They said, "Can you do this?" So sure, and we did that. I'm not sure exactly if I can find that video. There we go here. I'm gonna keep looking, but it was just amazing how artwork is so important, and the line interval or DPI or a hatch is so important because you know not always more is better, because sometimes high DPI, high DPI is good and dense, but in our product sometimes it doesn't work. These labels that we print as shipping labels, they're really pleasing to the eyes, right? White and black, they're like at 350 DPI.
yeah.
And by going more on DPI, it's actually the biggest waste of time, because if you're at 300 DPI and you're getting really good to pleasing to the eyes, you're gonna do 600 DPI thinking that you're gonna get a better job. Probably not, and it's gonna take double the amount of time.
And that's where the thought process for me for pre-focusing the laser is I can use lower intervals or lower DPI, and with it being
And because
graded,
the
I
beam
get a
spot
wider
diameter,
spot.
yeah.
So I'm able to get more coverage with a lower line interval. So
Yeah, so
and
Steve, I just want to add something to that, and excuse me on that one.
yeah,
In certain, like this product, because it's low power, is okay to this one. Changing the beam spot diameter, it's fine. But on some certain metals, especially on our metal products, I just don't. I want to tell the audience that having it in a real sharp focus is very important, because sometimes you have like 25-watt laser or 30-watt laser, and you need every oomph of photons to really infuse our product onto your metal product. And keep that in mind, because having clean lenses, clean optics, and right focus. I still remember my brother was laying and one time, and I just took a little lens from my lab, and I focused it right to the sun, so just I get a little dot, a really sharp point on his leg, and it's like, oh, something bit me, like, oh, that was a little good joke for me.
yeah,
But that
yeah,
reminds me, every time I do a focus on our laser machines, do a sharp focus. But if your lenses are foggy, like say for example, if you cut acrylic or wood or something, it's gonna have some deposition on your lens. And if you don't clean it, and you say, oh, God, what happened last time I used it? Same settings, it worked fine. Well, now you have a curtain in front of your lens,
yeah.
right? You got to clean that. And
Mm-hmm.
and proper maintenance of the machine is very important to get good consistent result. And sometimes, some customers have called us, hey, the same product, I did that, the customer is yelling at me and it's coming off. Well, shouldn't happen, because it's the same product you still have. You did you change it? No. So what happened? Something else happened here,
Yeah.
right? And then I'll tell them to clean your optics, and bam, no problem.
And Chris saying setting page should also list all the variables that can affect results. And Chris, you know this as well as Gurmeet does, because I've seen it on their test, or whoever does their grid test. Lightburn does have the ability for you to put in and to have in the actual test result. It says like it'll say 20-watt setting. I'll put my scan angle. I'll put the focal distance. I'll put all that in the description of my test, so that when I pick up that grid test a week from now, it'll say I can look and say, okay, well, that was and it's out of focus, but it's a 20-watt, and I've got my line interval there, number of passes there. You can put all that information in the description of the test when you do it in Lightburn. So absolutely, if you're going to be doing multiple grid tests with it, especially a new product, and you're doing multiple grid tests in Lightburn, put those setting information in there. So when you pick it up after doing 10 or 12 tests and go, ooh, I really like that one, Well, I got speed and power, but these say same speed and power. What was the difference? Well, there's a difference in either the intervals or your passive, something. So put that information on your test because every bit of that is crucial. I found out that if you do not do a grid test, the final part will come back and bite you.
Yeah, I've heard of that a lot of times.
Now here's a good. I didn't do this on the metal. Does the metal marking this one you would not use it on aluminum, would you?
No, no, I wouldn't use this on aluminum. But as a matter of fact, we have two different products. So our standard black metal is a
Right.
universal for metal. So it does a lot of different aluminums. But again, every product has its limitations, right? And because aluminum is such a if you look at the grade,
Right.
grades of different aluminums, they're from 3,000 all the way to 7,000, and then all the numbers in between,
Yeah.
right? So it depends on where it's made. So we have a lot of clientele that buys does aluminum, and they were having problems because you just buy aluminum from anywhere. You can buy it on Amazon, China, India, it doesn't matter, right? And this was most of the time it will do it, but sometimes it wasn't doing it. So we tried to make this better, but this is our aluminum
Okay.
product. So it definitely gives us more horizon, more coverage of different grades. But again, it has its limitations as well.
And on the topic of aluminum, and I used to be in an automotive business, and we sold a lot of custom wheels. And unfortunately, a very large wheel manufacturer opened up just across the state line from us, making some really good looking wheels.
Yeah.
But the United States Department of Transportation says if you're going to manufacture and sell a wheel in the U.S., it needs to be made with this minimum grade of aluminum. It has to be this. This is the it has to be at least this good, and that's what they used. And inevitably, one out of every four of those wheels would leak air through the aluminum. It was porous. It was a very, very low grade aluminum. I would never sell them and I would never install them because they were junk aluminum wheels, but they met the bare minimum to be sold here. And that's why what you're talking about. There's all kinds of different grades of aluminum, and you're going to get various results across the board. All the more reason, as I said, that's why Clack doesn't like to change his products. He's got one that works. I'm going to stay with this product. I know it works. I've tested it. These results work great. As long as the manufacturer doesn't deviate, then I don't have to test. I've already ironed it out. I've got it. I know what they're going to do.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, so somebody it reminds me of somebody did a test on a 2024 aluminum, which is the aluminum, the aircraft grade aluminum. And the guy says, "Hey, please tell me if this is going to work because I'm going to do all the tests and stuff." So it does work, but you still got to try on your grade. And he did that, and he put the video. He was so happy. He put a video. I think it's on for our standard black. This one here, the black metal. If you look at it on Amazon, somebody put a video. He torched the aluminum. After he marked it with our product, he torched the crap out of it, and that thing didn't move. He was so happy, and I believe that this is being used in the aircrafts or rockets as we speak.
And David says, I assume just window glass will work.
Any glass.
Yeah, well, I tried it with some really thin framing glass, and the glass was
shattered.
Yeah, like you were talking about on those shot glasses, you start to get some chipping away. The glass, the glass will fail before. So, quality of your product, your glass, that can matter.
Again, grid test.
But will it work? Yeah.
I would say, David, do a grid test on that as well. I'm pretty sure this is going to work on that.
Yeah.
And if it's chipping or if it's cracking, obviously we have to bring the power down. And then you have to figure out, okay, how low can I go so it sticks, but at the same time doesn't crack? Obviously, right. So that's.
And if and I didn't have any plain glass here, because I don't know. I was going to get pint glasses, but couldn't get the pint glasses I wanted. and then the only sheet glass I had here was really, really thin. It's like a 1/16 of an inch. It's real thin framing glass. Yeah. I was going
On
to
the
do
surface. This was the grid test we did, and then you know, another grid test didn't work out that good. Another grid test that didn't work out too good, but finally we got a really good image from you know, sometimes even the grid test doesn't come out so good, but you can guess it. It's in between this and this number, you know.
right.
And if you look at this, can you see anything on this one here? I'm not sure. Can you, is it in focus?
It's there you go. It's
See,
hard to see,
this was done without any product. So as you
right?
can see, it engraves a little bit,
Right.
but then the same thing was done with the product.
Yeah, big difference.
Big difference. I don't know.
Yeah,
The lights can reflect differently, and then it can change
yeah,
the. Sorry.
yeah. I did pick up a couple of oil and vinegar bottles, but they were too tall to fit under the laser without me removing the bed. You know, I could do it, but I just didn't have time to do it. So I said, well, you know, that would be the perfect candidate for it, but I just didn't have time to get it done. Yeah, Dave, it will work on the crystal hearts. I'm glad you brought that up. I've got a bunch of crystal. In fact, I just put some new ones on the website today. I put these on the website today. These are crystal kites. And
wow,
they would work. It would be great on these. I have some crystal hearts. They're real thick crystal, like your paperweight. So yeah, I would imagine it would work. I haven't tested it, so I don't know what the settings would be. You would have to try it and find the settings for it, like we've been talking about. Do your tests. But yeah, they would work on those crystal hearts. Work well.
You know, so sometimes you can even tell, but feeling the glass and kind of knocking on it. If it's really brittle, hard, it probably is going to shatter on you. You know.
Well, I sell a lot of these. They're crystal paperweights like that, and I've got a couple of videos where I actually show how to engrave them really, really nice, and we get really, really good results with just engraving the actual crystal with the diode. So they don't shatter or break. You know, with the settings I use, so that I know they would do well with this marking spray.
Sure.
Sometimes you need to change the size of your grid boxes. Yes. To get a better idea relating to the size of your engraving. Yep. Yes, sir.
Definitely,
Yes, sir.
Chris.
All right. Well, Gurmeet, I didn't expect you. Because I respect what you had going on. It was a pleasure that you did have the time to come and join. And I was honestly going to be extremely grateful if you was able to show up for 30 minutes, but you've been here for a while now. I appreciate it. Everybody else appreciates it, I'm sure, because here they're not having to worry about a dummy.
Well, I appreciate you all and believing in our products. Keep believing it. More is coming. And thank you, Steve, for inviting me and you know, believing in our products as well.
Yep. So hobowithwood.com/Brilliance inks plural will take you directly to their website. And if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while, boys and girls, but if I'm not mistaken, it might get you a 10% discount. It might. You have to try it. I know that on the laser mark, the metal marking, it did, and I'm not sure how it's continued, but if you use hobowithwood.com/Brilliance inks, they'll at least know that I sent you there, and I'll get 54 cents, and you might even get a discount.
It's fantastic.
All right. Well, Gurmeet, bless you, sir. I will also, many of those said they will say a prayer for you too, and your mom. I'll do the same thing. And I appreciate your time this evening, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Everybody. Guy, bye-bye.
All right. So, Led Zepp, I hope you have, well, if you've taken the time to send me the email, great. If you hadn't, don't forget, send me your shipping information, and I'll get this packed up and ready to go out tomorrow, but it probably won't go out until or later in the week, depending on who's running what, when, and where. And since who brought that up? Who brought that up? Dave brought it up about the crystal hearts. I want to show you a couple of things I added today to the website. And I've got some things that I'm fixing on the website that have been brought to my attention, and some improvements that are coming on the website. But if you go to the laser blanks page and you tell it to sort by latest, I have these three things here. These are the three newest things I've added to the laser blanks page. And this one is the 4x6 alder wood. And this isn't how it comes. Of course, it comes blank. But this is just my best selling frame, is my best dog ever. And it can be, landscape or portrait. And it has a hanger for either mode if you want to hang it. And it's solid wood. It's solid alder wood. Does really, really nice engraving, really nice results. Those are new on the website, but I've only got a handful of those left. And to be specific, I've got 7 of these left in stock that have not been engraved yet. Some of you may recall or have been part of the conversation. I may be selling this property and needing to relocate. So I've got to start cleaning this stuff out. I got to start getting rid of my inventory. So I've got 7 of those left. And the crystal kites, these are really, really cool. They are beveled crystal ornaments. They have the string on them already, come in a blue gift box, satin lined. And you can see these selling online anywhere from $10 and up. I'm selling them for $1.95. $1.95 plus your shipping. Dirt cheap. And then these are really easy, and these are easy to do and easy to create, and they'll be perfect for Valentine's gifts. It is a heart-shaped pine block that has got a slot done in it. Now, these are primed and ready to be painted, depending on what color you want to paint them. But they're primed and ready to go with the slot cut in them. And then you've got a piece of acrylic that you put your photograph in. Calm to Papa. And then that just fits in that slot and it stands like that. Or you can do it in a landscape. And same thing, get in the slot. There you go. And you can engrave that with a laser, Cricut cut, or do it by hand if you wanted to. These come 4 to a box. 4 to a box. And I'm doing, I've only got 8 boxes of 4 left. And I'm selling a whole box of 4 for $36 plus your shipping. And I just want to show you, you get 4 to a box. So that's $9 a piece you're paying for those. And if you look here, not that one, here we go. Personalized. Here, these are selling, this is the same thing. And they're selling them engraved for $26, $27 plus the freight to ship them out. So I've got $36 for 4. You could turn that into $100 easy. So those are the 3 latest. Go to default, sort by latest. There we go. I got a few of these, but these at $1.95, I've got over 200 of those in stock. I'm not going to run out of those anytime soon. But those, in fact, just to go back to that, those I'm selling for $1.95. And if we go look at bevel, let's see, no. Where it is? Well, I thought I had saved it. But these sell online for $10 a piece and up. If you buy quantities, if you were to go online and go to some of these Chinese, wholesalers, you can buy 48 of them at $10 a piece. So $480 will get them to you at $10 a piece. But I'm going to sell them to you if you buy one at a time for $1.95. So I just need to get my stuff cleaned up and get it out of here. Let's see. That was probably in the top best 5 company rep interviews I've seen in ages. Most won't admit there are cases where their products are not the right ones at times. Yeah, I've been really pleased with, that's the second or third time I've actually spoken with Gurmeet. Really nice guy, very helpful. And everybody I've dealt with from Brilliance has been really, really easy to get along with, easy to deal with. And emails on its way. Very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I forgot I was going to mention? Got the frames, got that gave away, got those. Yeah, that's it. All right. So I'm going to go outside, see if when Gigi walks through the snow right now, you don't see paw prints because the snow is so deep out there that when she's walking, her whole underbelly is clearing a path out. So I'm just curious how deep it has gotten. So you guys have a good night. And if you're local here or you're anywhere, you're getting in the deep snow or the ice and the cold weather, stay warm, stay safe. Don't get on the street if you don't have to. And if you do, be aware of the people who are out there on their sleds and be aware. Keep your eyes open. Thank you all. You guys have a good weekend, and I will see you in the next video.